All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So I want to take a look at MBOT, GameStop, and then GWAV on this one. I'll be honest, I almost didn't want to cover GWAV. I see that it's going up after hours, and I say it all the time. I'm going to say it again on this one. After hours is such a dangerous, it's an easy way to get your hand stuck in the cookie jar. All right, and look, I think you can easily say we saw that exact same thing on GameStop this morning with pre-market, so it almost echoes the point right there, right? But MBOT was the one that actually had some real news in this bunch, and it was some FDA approvals, and I think it was an interesting day, right? I mean, it was a big day, gets us over all the moving averages, big percentage, but clearly this gave up a lot. This thing was over $2. It's now a lot closer to $1 than it was that, right? So interesting reversal, for lack of words, but I am liking what I saw. We just need a little bit to sustain right now, and I think the whole story is actually going to be volume. All right. GameStop, my goodness, GameStop fooled me. I'll tell you that. I was waking up pre-market. I saw moments where I probably could have banked, and I think I had 300% plus dreams. I'm not even going to pretend I didn't. You know what I mean? So, interesting day. Lost a real critical line around the 30s towards the end of it, and I'll kind of go over that shortly. But yeah, it's one of those things where tomorrow seems real 50-50, all right? And then GWAV, again, I see it going up after hours. I saw it go up a lot, actually, after hours at one point. But yeah, I'm still not a fan, especially coming off that reverse split, all right? So excited for these and more, but before we go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There is one, I think there's more up there actually. Yeah, there are a few up there, but there are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video, excuse me, share this video online with your friends. Comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms, but for real, just being here and giving me your time, oh, I am so grateful for it, all right? So, MBOT, what a day today, all right? And I really don't want to take away from the good, but a little disappointing to see how much this thing gave up, right? When you're looking at almost $1 drop, right? This thing looks like it was over 230, 235. To go from 235 to basically 130 something, oh man, that's a little disappointing. But look, I like the news, all right? The news was a real big one. And there is for sure a saying that says buy the rumor, sell the news. But it's hard to put FDA kind of approvals in that bucket. And I use the word kind of approval right there because look, all they really did was grant them the ability to test on humans, right? So it's this next round of approvals that's actually going to really matter, right? But hey, the fact that they're getting the ability to test on humans, yeah, that's monumental right there, right? So look, I've talked about I've covered this stock before. That's why I have these lines there. I've talked about the fact that my dad actually had robotic surgery. We both had the same thing. It was a outpatient thing. It's a genetic, right? My dad had it. I had to do it too. Nothing too serious, right? Outpatient. My dad's was robotic. Mine was done. Look, UCLA is one of the best hospitals, one of the best schools. Man, I had my thing done by one of the best doctors at UCLA. Dude, mine sucked. Mine has so many BS after things when the surgery was over. My dad was dancing out of the hospital. I was literally begging them to give me more pain meds. My dad was ready to do the day. I picked my dad up from the hospital and I was a little, I love him. I'm glad nothing was wrong, but I was a little upset on how smooth his was and how bad mine was, for real. You know what I mean? So I wish I knew his doctor, but robotic surgery is the answer. I don't care if it's the best person at UCLA, Harvard Medical, Oxford, I'm sure has some sort of medical whatever. robots can get to the millimeter of millimeters to percentiles, right? Like it's incredible, the accuracy, right? Like no human's going to be able to do that. Maybe a human can do it once, but they are not going to do that 17 out of 18 times, right? So yeah, robotic surgery, it's hard. Like I'm a short-term trader, all right? There are a few things that you can clearly tell I believe are going to be here for long term and are going to be better than they are today. AI is one of them. In a lot of ways, robotic surgery is AI. As AI gets better, the precision's going to get better. You're going to have less human reactions, right? Because look, end of the day, this is still some like human almost playing a video game, right? There's still like joysticks that are manually moved and this and that. I think we're literally going to get to a point where like you walk in, the robot does the job, and you walk out, right? Like I could see it, and it's if you don't believe that, throw it in the comments, let me know, right? But yeah, it's hard to imagine that's not going to hold. So to try to find a company that's in that sector, in that medical science sector, oh man, it seems like a decent thing to go long on if you were. All right, so getting into the technicals in the short term, right, the daily and the weekly, that's why you're watching my videos. Today was a big day. Today was an important day because look, I mean, I'm just zooming out real quick. We have been under that purple 200 moving average, I would say since here. I would say since August of 2021. All right. Clearly a little moment that doesn't hold, a little moment that doesn't hold, a little moment that doesn't hold. Is this going to be another little moment that doesn't hold? Like, look at that candle, right? Like, we've seen these pops from down here to up here. The thing that matters the most is confirmation, and I started the video with it. I think the thing that's going to matter the most is the volume. Look at those pops that I mentioned, right? This one right here, you get one good volume candle and then nothing for a while. This one right here, one good one, nothing for a while. This one right here even had nothing, right? But this thing has seen single amazing days of volume, only to do absolutely nothing until we get excited for that next single day, right? We cannot have another single day. That is not going to be acceptable, all right? So, excuse me, let me bring out the trusty calculator. 122. I think that's going to be our number. I need 122 million shares traded in a 7-hour day. We better be close to 18 million that first hour. I would love to be closer to 40 million that second hour, all right? But we need volume. We need the volume to hold. Otherwise, again, all I'm expecting is this thing to do what it's done so many times. One good day and then a blimp until nothing, right? So I like stocks overall, the moving averages, right? This is trying to do it again. This has now tested that 235 line twice this year, right? 223. Wow, that was horribly dyslexic, excuse me. But we've wicked this thing before, and I'm going to say relatively in a small window. 6 months is kind of pushing it, but hey, you get the point, right? So give me the volume and I'll believe. Look, MACD looks good. RSI looks good. If volume doesn't hold, I think none of this matters. All right, I really, we need to be at 40 million shares that second hour. I think by Friday, the goal is really going to be to close around 165 to 150. Yeah, you can see the 50 moving average is at 149 on the weekly. I'd love to get over that 150 number, and really I would love to get as close to the top of this candle as we can, which is around that 165 that I mentioned, right? But look, I think again you can see it on the weekly, right? Like those single days are pretty much the single week pops, and yeah, we need the volume to hold. That's the story here, all right? So excuse me, let me know your thoughts, let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Let's come into GameStop, and my goodness, look, I think the first place I want to start with, man, I got fooled here. I got fooled hard. I got fooled being greedy is actually what happened. I was waking up almost every single hour pre-market. I probably went to bed around 34-ish if I had to guess. Like, I could not go to bed. I saw 100%, 80%, 100%, 70%. Like, it was hard to not believe we were looking at a 300% day. All right. And a lot of it got pushed by a green reversal tweet that just sparked a lot. And man, I got caught in the hype. I did. I really, really did. All right. I think the 15-minute chart is the best chart to look at for the day. All right. Obviously, this pump was ridiculous. And actually, if you want to look at the pump in the morning, look, I say it on every single. No, you actually can't even see it here. I probably saw it on my the 1 and the 2. But nonetheless, let me go to the 15-minute, okay? So I towards the end of the day, we were obviously talking a lot about game, right? I kept stressing 30-45, all right? Closing over 30-45 would be good. Oh man, and you can see it on this 15-minute for sure. Yeah, kind of. Again, I think I might have been seeing it on the 1 and the 2. But we were hovering around that 31-ish. We were hovering there right here. Once we started to lose that 30-30, 30-40 that I was... Oh, this thing froze. Come on. Don't freeze on me, baby. I think I got to pause this 1 second. Okay, I'm back. I had to re-log in, and it gave me a second. So look, I was talking about 30-45 and 30-30. Those were the lines that I was talking about towards the last hour of trading. And man, once we lost that 30-30, it basically put us under the 8 and the 20. You lose this, you go to this, you lose this, you go to this. And yeah, the drop was just horrible, right? So that made sense to me, and it just happened in a quick 45-minute. And I mean, we were basically living there the whole day, right? I mean, this was pretty much a horizontal day after that morning dump, right? Again, a couple things that I'm looking at that are good and make me think good for tomorrow. Couple things that I'm not liking and make me not sure about tomorrow. All right. So first of all, I like that we're over this 26.92 line. All right. Let alone just because it's a resistance. More so as I zoom out, you'll see it. You'll see it. Give me a sec. Where is it? Right. Oh, it's not. It's actually just a little bit higher. Interesting. Okay. Oh, interesting. That's the line. Oh, it's a little closer to 33. No way. I might have actually... Interesting. I don't know if I would have sold if I drew that line or not. I thought 26 was the forward split line. I was actually saying that on Discord all day. That's inaccurate. This is a really important line right here. 33.45. Okay, I'm gonna draw that. I am. So I've been not drawing anything because I've been saying that this was a super fast channel. I think today's another reminder of it, right? Like you open at 40 and you drop all the way down here. That's super fast. Just the bad super fast, right? So, okay, again, I got distracted really quickly. I learned something while I was trying to teach something. Ironic, right? I'm glad we closed over this now a little bit less than I was before I started this because I thought that was a more important line. That's just a simple resistance, and I'm going to go ahead and just call it a simple resistance. I really wanted to close over this line. I really wanted to close over 30.45. If you can see in the box you're looking over there, that's exactly the number that I was calling right there. And that was one of my searches, if I'm not mistaken. It's bullish over that number right there. It's bullish over that number for sure, right? And I said that early. A bunch happened after that, right? But man, I really wanted to close over that. Clearly we didn't, right? And going into tomorrow, I'm making a couple assumptions, all right? The first assumption is the 8 moving average is probably going to go up. I think it'll probably come to here-ish because that's a pretty good gap. But again, I don't know. We might even... Okay, here are my thoughts. We're either coming down to 24, basically, 23.90 tomorrow, or we're going to basically come back and reattempt this 33. I think that's the one too. And it's funny if I came to the weekly, yeah, exactly. When I come to the weekly, and obviously it's most of it's today, right? But you see me draw these half candles, 50% lines. That's pretty much the 50% line of today, right? And like I said, it's obviously on this single candle, right? But yeah, I think that's going to be the important line right there. Dang, I thought that was a more important line. I think I'm now leaning towards down, not up. I feel like that's such a weird thing to say on such a meme power thing, but I think missing this line is a little bit more important than this. The one thing I want to show, so look, on last week's candle, you can see this thing was testing the 20. Today, we clearly got over it, right? Two things that I'm going to say. Number one, none of this has me thinking we've broken back over the lines, right? This has literally been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dojis in a row, right? And this green day is not a good green day in my book, right? Again, the green outlines are better than the green filled ins, right? So we just saw a big green filled in lead us down here. I don't know if we're about to see the same thing, right? So I see it going up a little bit after hours. I do, but I don't know how excited to be again, especially because we saw plus 80, plus 90, and lo and behold, we came down here, right? So, man, it's tough holding this one right now. It is. It feels like anyone's game. I think to me, as long as you're over the 8 and the 20, we should be okay, right? Like I would start getting very worried around 22 bucks. What's the bottom of this guy? Where did you open? 2150. I think 2150 might be a little bit low because at that point you might as well just wait for 22, like 2060, right? I think around 22 you might be able to save about 10%. But yeah, I'd be worried under that. Obviously a fall from here to even down here is a pretty bad drop, right? Down here is the next moving average. You can see it's around 2375. You're losing about $5, which is almost a 20% drop, right? I'm kind of rounding 250, but that could be a bad drop actually if you come down to the next moving average. So this one feels 50-50. I'm excited to hear what people are thinking, but man, I think that's a scary candle, and really that's an ugly candle, all right? So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Let's take a look at GWAV. And I really had no plans on covering this one. This thing is coming up after hours right now. It's up post-market. You can see the jump up to the 450s. I'm still not liking this stock, all right? I really am not for a few different reasons, all right? First and foremost, this has been and continues to be under all the moving averages. We actually, now again, we did a reverse split, right? So that's why there's no lines here, right? But we are in all-time lows. This fell below, let's go to the weekly. You can see it easier on the weekly. There is no green candle anywhere near us, right? Like that was the last of the greens, and we're heading on down. Even on the daily, it was that same $6, right? So we reverse splits are not good. I don't care if it's a 1 for 15 or 1 for 150. Reverse splits are not good. A forward split is good, not a reverse split, all right? To me, there's maybe a shot that red can give you green, all right? I think maybe there's a shot that this thing can make a run to 918. Really, I don't know if I would trust this until it could get over 516. All right, I think I need to regain at least half of today's bad to start to believe. Like this post-market, I'm not believing. No, not just yet, all right? Because, yeah, really, it happens. You fall far from it kind of happens here, but not really. I'm trying to find one, but regardless, you fall from the 8, you come to the 8. You fall, you come. You fall, you come to it. I think maybe there's a shot. I don't trust it though. Personally, I think this is heading down. I would believe this is going to lose another 20 before it goes up. But hey, if we make our way up, it's an interesting play. Now, look, some people might say, hey, going from down here all the way up to that 5 something number, that on its own might be a good trade. And hey, for sure it might be. If you're going to do something like that, make sure you have your finger on the mouse the entire time. Like, you got to get ready to bail if bad things happen, all right? But yeah, if we can start to regain into the 515, 520s, maybe I'll start to believe we're going to take out some red, red, red to green, green, green. But again, overall, under all 5, you die. Reverse split is death. Black hole vortex of all-time lows. These are really bad things to have associated with a stock, and GWAV is actually associated with all 3 of those, all right? There's actually still way more buying right here than selling right here. In some ways, again, there are like flashes of not bad here, but yeah, I think there's just not enough to believe, all right? So I talked about the debt-free news. I did. I talked about that on a couple of videos. For sure, like as an educated person, even as a semi-educated person, debt-free is good. For sure it is. But there's no assumption that you're not going to go back into debt. There's no assumption that you're going to make money now that you're debt free. And hey, there's no real assumption that you're going to do good things. Like maybe it would have been better to stay in debt, use the money to like buy something, grow something, acquire something, and then later pay it, right? Like there's so many different ways that you can dissect that news that it's not like this like blanket magic thing, all right? But again, just you got to dissect the news as you see it. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Hey, thank you so much.